and welcome to Waterfall Yoga with Jess. Hi. So we're going to move quite quickly into this flow. So if you need a bit more warm-up, please follow one of my other warm-up videos first. Otherwise, starting in tabletop. So wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, feet directly behind the knees. We'll move through some cat-cows. So inhaling, dipping the belly, gazing up, lifting the tailbone, and exhaling, rounding through the spine, tucking the tailbone, rounding the back. Inhaling, gazing up, arching the spine. Exhaling, rounding through the spine. We're arching in both ways, I suppose. So carry on with your own breath. Find that lovely flow. Lovely, and then next time you come back to neutral, tuck the toes, walk the palms a step forwards, and press up to downward facing dog. Taking a pedal out through the feet. Maybe bending the knees. Really finding that lift in the hips, allowing the body to warm up into the movement. And then ripple forwards, bringing your weight over the wrists, so shoulders come over the wrists, finding plank. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then we're going to step the left leg to the outside of the left hand. And open the left fingertips up to the sky. And then bring the hand back down, step back to plank. Bring the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Reach the right fingertips up. Lovely. And then one more each side, slightly faster this time. Lovely. Stepping back to plank, pushing back to downward facing dog, rising to tiptoes, bending the knees, looking forwards, and hopping forward to the front of your mat. We'll take a bend in the right knee, right fingertips or hand to the floor, straightening through the left leg but not locking the knee. Reach the left fingertips up, gazing over your hand, feeling a nice stretch in your glutes and your outer hip. Lovely. Then bringing the left hand to the floor, bending the left knee, straightening the right, but keeping a micro bend. Reach that right arm up. Lovely. And bring it back down to the floor. Bend the knees. Push through the feet and slowly roll up through the spine so that your head comes up last. Lovely. And then take a moment to find your roots into the floor. And inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, planting the hands, hop or step back to plank, lowering down through full or half chaturanga. Elbows graze the sides, squeeze the bum, squeeze between the shoulder blades. Inhale, up dog or cobra, your choice. And exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely, and then lowering the knees, refinding tabletop. We'll extend the right arm and the left leg. But what I want you to imagine is that you've got a tray on your back of your most precious food or drinks that you really don't want to spill. And also I want you to think about lengthening rather than lifting. So better to lift your leg lower and keep everything nice and neutral. So keeping the spine neutral. We're trying to avoid flaring the rib cage and overarching the back. So instead, think about lengthening that leg out long. You can check with your hand. Toes can be pointed or flexed. But reach the right arm and the left leg away and breathe. Resting when you need, but holding it if you can for a couple of breaths more. Thinking about that nice length. Checking your head and neck are in line with the rest of your spine. Lovely, and bringing them back down to the floor. Going on the other side, so again, thinking about that length, thinking about that tray. Lovely. If you have a tendency to lock at the elbow, just check you've got a little micro bend there. Something I always have to remind myself. Lovely. Breathing. And coming back to the floor. Pressing back to downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. Thinking about closing that gap between the lower rib cage and the hip bone. Lovely, and then inhaling, rising to tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forwards, and hop your feet towards your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, rise. And exhale, hands come to prayer at heart center. Now we are going to sit back to chair. So sitting back to chair. Weight towards your heels. Nice and open across the collarbones, gazing ahead. And then folding forward, stepping the right foot back. Rising up to high crescent lunge. Maybe taking hold of opposite elbows and pressing your head back into the forearms, keeping your hips facing forwards, not overstretching, taking a nice deep bend in that back leg if you need. Lovely, and release and open out into warrior two. So rooting into the outer edge of your back foot. Heel to arch alignment with the feet reaching in both directions. Nice deep bend in that front knee. And then inhale, reach forwards, and exhale, scoop the air up and over. Option to float the back hand or wrap it behind you. And think about opening the armpit to the ceiling, while also thinking about tucking the pelvis under is the sensation, although not the shape. So keeping that nice deep bend in the front knee. Lovely, then opening back out to warrior two, extending the front leg, keeping a little micro bend, and feel like I'm pulling your fingertips forwards. And imagine you're a slice of bread in a toaster. So you want to stay in one plane. You want to be one slice with all of this body. So reaching forwards and then hinging at the hips. Really reaching up through that right hand. So some of you will be up here. That's completely fine. That's great. To do it properly is best. To find that stability. Breathing, working the obliques. Lovely. And then rising back up, bending into the front knee, warrior two. Pivoting to high crescent lunge. And then floating the back leg, warrior three. Breathing. And then gently placing that foot back down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, frame the foot, step back to plank. And we're going to open out to side plank. So reaching your left hand up to the outer edge of your right foot. Your left foot can stay on the floor or balance on top of it. Or if you want supported side plank, you can step that in front. Options. Lovely. And then with control, bringing that hand back to the floor. Lowering down through full or half chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. Now let's take some plank to down dog ripples. So we're going to inhale, round the spine like in cow pose, cat pose, that's the one. That kind of rounding. And shift the shoulders over the wrists. Find plank. And exhale, bend the knees, push the bum back towards the heels and press up to downward facing dog. So inhale, round and ripple, plank. Exhale, press back and lift to downward dog. Inhale, round and ripple to plank. And exhale, press back and lift to downward dog. Keep going with your own breath. Don't let anyone else dictate your breath. Although, I suppose it's good sometimes. But it's also great to tune into your own body. Lovely. And then when you're next here, let's lower the knees, come to tabletop. And again, we're going to extend the right leg and the left leg even and the right arm. Keeping a micro bend in that left elbow. Keeping that tray nice and stable. Breathing. Head and neck in line with the rest of the spine. Lovely, and bringing it back down. Extend the left arm and the right leg. Think about that lovely length. Don't compromise the spine. Breathing, lovely, and release back down. This time we're going to tuck the toes. Okay, now I want you to find this doming between the shoulder blades that we hopefully have a little bit in plank anyway, but if not, here's how to find it. So first of all, if you dip, allow yourself to sink into your shoulders, then it's easier to find that push up, that broadening between them. And now you have that, hold that there, tuck the toes, press through the heels to gently hover your knees just an inch off the floor. Keeping your head and neck in line with the rest of your spine. And breathing. Lovely, and then push back to downward dog. Inhale, rise to tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forwards and pop to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, sit back to chair. Take a couple of breaths. Finding nice space across the collarbones. Gazing ahead. Lovely, and press up to mountain pose. Lovely. So we'll go again on the other side. So sitting back to chair. Folding forward, stepping the left foot back this time. Inhale, rise to high crescent lunge. Option to take hold of the opposite elbows. Push your head back into your forearms. Keeping that nice deep bend in the front knee. Keeping a bend in the back knee as much as you need. Don't overstretch. Give yourself a lovely double chin. Press your head back into those forearms. Lovely. And then release and open out into warrior two. Again, adjust if you need. that lovely strong warrior, rooting into the outer edge of that back foot. Reaching in both directions. Imagine you've got superpowers. Lovely. And then inhale, reaching forwards. Exhale, swooping up and over, reverse warrior. Keeping that bend in the front knee. It often likes to lift up. Rooting into the outer edge of the back foot. Lovely, and then opening back out to warrior two. Straightening that front leg, but keeping a micro bend. Imagine I'm pulling your fingertips towards me. And then hinge at the waist. Again, coming to wherever keeps you in one plane. Can you slide into that toaster? Nice. Reaching up through the top fingertips. Lovely. And then lifting back up, rebending, pivoting to find high crescent lunge, and shifting your weight forwards, finding warrior three. And gently stepping back, embracing the wobbles if you have them, and then framing the foot, stepping back to plank, opening the right palm this time, side plank. Option to stack feet, have them on the ground or have supported side plank, or really squeeze the bum and lift the hips. And find space between this ear and shoulder. So push out of that shoulder. Lovely, and then with control, bring that hand back to the floor. Lowering down to full or half chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely. And then inhaling, rising to tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forwards, hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, sit back to chair. And exhale, press up to mountain pose. Lovely. Okay, we'll go a little speedier this time. So, inhale, sit back to chair. Exhale, forward fold, stepping the right foot back. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, opening out to warrior two. Inhale, reaching forwards. Exhale, swooping up and over, reverse warrior. Inhale here. And exhale, open out, warrior two. Pressing through that front foot. Straightening that leg. Inhale, reaching forwards. And exhale, hinging at the waist. Finding a slice of bread. Now, option to bring the left arm alongside the left ear, if that's okay for you. If you're after some fire. Nice. And then opening back out to warrior two. Pivoting on your back toes, high lunge. Finding warrior three. Gently stepping back to high lunge. Framing the foot, stepping back to plank. Opening the left arm to the ceiling, side plank, your version. Maybe now lifting the top leg. Lovely. And then gently coming back to plank, lowering down full or half chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Really feeling those shoulder blades gliding up the back. And breathing. And then on your next inhale, rising to tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forwards, and hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back, nice long spine. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, sit back to chair. And exhale, press up to stand. Take a round of breath here. On your next inhale, we'll sit back to chair. Exhale, fold. Stepping the left foot back. Inhale, rise, high lunge. Exhale, opening out, warrior two. Inhale, reaching forwards, flipping the palm. Exhale, scooping up and over, reverse warrior. Keeping that nice deep bend in the front knee. Exhale, open warrior two. Pressing through that front leg. Coming into triangle, reaching, hinging at the waist, reaching that left arm up. Maybe right arm comes alongside the right ear. Really working those obliques now. Lovely. And then opening back out to warrior two. Pivoting on the back toes, high lunge. Coming forwards to warrior three. Lifting that back leg and power through it. Sending superpowers out of those toes. Lovely. Gently stepping back to high lunge. Framing the foot. Stepping back to plank. Opening out to, which way do we go? Side plank. And lifting the top leg. Lovely, gently coming back to the front, to plank, lowering down, full or half chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Oh, it's dog's life. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale, rise to tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forwards and hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, sit back to chair. And exhale, press up to stand. Lovely. Take a couple of breaths. And inhale, reach the arms up. Maybe squeeze the bum, take a gentle back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Heel toe the feet out to about the width of the mat. And sink down into a yogi squat. Wherever that is for you. My hips are feeling a little tight, so play with lifting the heels, that helps. Trying to keep a nice long spine. Lovely. And then playing with sitting down from here. Ooh. And then we'll just take a little happy baby to finish. So bring the soles of your feet to the ceiling. Head and neck lengthening onto the floor, thinking about lengthening your tailbone as well onto the floor, and gently rocking around however feels good. Lovely. Giving the knees a squeeze, allowing the feet to come to the floor, and then just let them drop to one side and then the other side. And again. Lovely. And then if you'd like to come to a Shavasana, extending the legs long, opening the palms to the ceiling, grabbing any blankets or anything. Maybe setting a timer and allowing yourself the time to check out and absorb the practice. Maybe press pause on the video here, and then when you're ready to rejoin, whenever you're at the end of your Shavasana, gently roll over onto one side. Take a couple of breaths here, maybe make a pillow for your head with your hands. And then gently press yourself up to a seat. Comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. Find your lovely roots into the floor, your sit bones, or whatever's in contact with the floor. Find that lovely ease in the shoulders and the neck, and that nice length through the crown of the head, extending, lengthening through the spine. And just take a moment to thank yourself for practicing today, and thanking your body for looking after you, and thank you for practicing with me. Have a lovely day. My name's Jess. This has been Waterfall Yoga with Jess and Doggo. Please let me know how you get on. Comment, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Please. Thank you. Have a lovely day.